All right, so today for our Pilates class, we're actually going to start on our hands and knees with cat-cow, which many of you would know from yoga. This is a variation that comes from gyrokinesis, where you're actually going to be moving back and forth through the movement here to warm up your back and get a little more perfect stretch, I feel. So on your hands and knees. If your knees are problematic, you can put extra towels or padding underneath it. And so the first thing you'll do is you're going to push down through your arms, down through your knees, lift the waist up and drop your head as you curve the tail towards the nose and vice versa. That's just the Halloween cat position. And then we're doing the reverse. We're going to lift the tail up the wall behind us, try to pull the heel of the hand and the knees towards each other like you're pushing the mat together under you. And lift your eyes, lift your chest, expand the chest through the frame of your arms. And then just practice that again. So the head lowers, you're curling both ends of the spine underneath you towards each other. You round the back and try to have a balanced curve. Like you don't really want to just like push up through the shoulders, but try to really lift through the waist and curl down through the tailbone. And then as we pull knees and hands towards each other, we're going to arch the back, looking up and also lifting the tail, spreading and opening the pelvic diamond. And now we're going to start the movement bit of it. So as you round the back, first you come into the C curve, like so, in flexion, and then you're sinking back with your butt towards your heels. You want to watch the alignment in your knees to be sure that feels good. Go only as far back as you can. Keep the curve in your spine as you rock forward. And then sink the belly, lift the tail, lift the chest, look up. And we go back again, leaning back to open. My fingers lift off the ground as I push down through the heel of my hand. And as I rock forward onto the spread hand, I'm going to curl the tail and the head towards each other, lifting up through my waistline. You'll do the same, and then you rock forward. This gives you a little stretch in the back of the arms in the lats. And rock forward here. If the rocking doesn't suit your knees, just skip it and just do your regular cat-cow. We can also add here an extension, curl your toes under, and then we can pick the feet up, place them down, round the back, and sink back over the heels with your hips. Come forward again and arch, pick up the feet, curl the toes under, and go back in the arch. Just add a little flick of the feet up to make it a little more active. So you lift, press the top of the feet down, round the back, curve back. And then come forward once more, feet rise, flex, and go back here. All right, great. And then let's turn over, lay onto your back. We're going to roll back into our upper ab curl for hundreds. So looking down at the belly, you can extend the arms forward, the arms as high as you would like to be for more of a challenge in your abdominals. Roll yourself down, or of course your hands can slide down your legs on the way to your upper abs. Fold the knees in, extend the legs up, and we pump the arms. Inhaling for 5 beats, exhaling for 5 more. Make a nice steady pulse of the arms. You want to feel that the arms are working from the outer edges of your sternum. That's where the collarbones connect the arm to the center of the body, and that's literally where the bony rhythm starts here as we pump. You pull your head up and look down, never look up at your knees, never look up at your feet, but keep dragging the chest forward, shortening that line from your jaw to your tailbone. Think of it knitting together to stretch your back open so you can stay balanced and lifted here. The leg position can change as you start to warm up. Just be sure that you feel that your abs are working like crazy. Your back may be stiffening, but it's not worried, it's not anxious, it's not arching. Keep pulling your waist into the ground. We're going for one more breath. Full breath in and a long breath out. And then go ahead, lay your head down. Fold the knees into your chest. You can turn your head easy from one side to the other. Remember, if you feel like your head is falling backwards in space, you may want to take a towel or a small cushion underneath it. Now from here, extend the legs forward for roll up. The legs are together, the arms are up. And here you also have the option using hand weights or even a TheraBand around your feet. Exhale as you come over, lifting the ribs off the ground. Dive forward here to stretch it out. Take your bow and then keep reaching forward with your heels, with your fingertips, with your halo as you curve the tail up and slowly bring the body down onto the mat, one vertebra at a time, and stretch the arms behind you to the place where your ribs are still grounded. You feel the stretch in your arms and your sideline. Bring your body up, coming up. Exhale, try to lift and curve your body as if you're lifting around a beach ball on your legs. Lift your belly into the curve of your spine. Rounding forward, taking that dive. Bend the knees if your hamstrings are restricting your movement forward. And let's bring it back down again. You would naturally start with the arms lower. The arms are only as high as you have perfect control going down into the ground, 1 inch, 1 vertebra at a time. We don't want to skip any place and go down in chunks. You want to go down smoothly, like your spine was a brand new rope, being lowered to the floor and then lift it off. So really coming up, you're not going to just pull from the hip flexors. Try to bend through the ribs, bend through the waist, so your abdominal wall is also working. Take your bow again. Maybe see if every time you move forward, you go a little further without having to bend your knees. And then we come back. And again, suspend your body from your arms, maybe from your eyes, looking up at that imaginary ball you're holding between your arms. Squeeze it from the armpits. Go all the way down and reach the arms back. And then we'll circle the arms around at your side. Here, pick up your TheraBand if you're using it. Pull the right knee into your chest and pull it in tight. And then we'll take the band around the ball of the foot and the arch. You want a wide band here. Foot in the center of the band. And then lift the leg up. Try to lift up through the heel as you curl down with the toes. Choke up on the band. Elbows go forward and down at your waist. That gives you that stretch in the back of the leg that you're looking for. Bring the whole leg back and get whatever stretch is right for you. Point the foot and we circle. Inhale, the leg crosses over an internal rotation. Sweep it low, externally rotate it, take it out to the side, drag it up to the ceiling at the end of the breath. Inhale for the first quarter of your circle and then exhale around, low, out to the side, the left side heavy. The fact that you're anchoring down through the opposite hip gives you more stretch in the upper part of your leg. So if I push down through the left hip, I get more stretch in the right inner thigh here. And then if I push down through the right hip, I get more stretch around the right IT band as the leg crosses away from the right hip. So we'll do one more, complete the circle, bringing it up to the top. Again, find the stretch you're looking for, point the foot, and we take it out as we inhale. Exhale all the way around, drag it low, pull it high, reach through the foot continuously. So you're thinking of drawing a beautiful circle in the air. Your gaze up and slightly forward so the back of the neck is elongated. You focus on that long exhale. So you want to be sure that you're just running out of air as you come to the top and you feel your low abdominals really contracting, really working to knit together and strengthen you in your low core. Now we come to the top. We're going to pause, take both ends of the band in the right hand, open the leg out to the side, and just rock the leg here. Of course, if you've done the class before, you know that you don't need to use the band. It's just nice in order to get the extra stretch. If you don't have a TheraBand, you can always set yourself up for next time with like a leather belt. Just make a loop at the end for your foot, or even a dog leash will work. And I don't know, maybe use the collar for your foot. And then let's lift up. And we switch the leg over, extend the right arm, sweep it out, look at your hand. You can lift the hip, waist, and ribs. Feel that twist in your spine, the lengthening in the muscles diagonally across your back, the chest opening as you look towards the extended arm on the right. And then we pull the hip down to lift the leg up high, give it a little tug, a little stretch here. And then fold the knee in, pull the knee into your body, push the other leg away, use your hand on the left thigh to increase the stretch you feel. And now let's let the right leg slide out next to the left one, shake them out, and they rotate externally. So you feel that you've dropped deeper onto the right side of your body into the mat. And if you have your hands on your hip bone crest, you'll feel that the left hip bone points more up and the right one more sideways. So good, that just showed that you got to relax your body while you worked it. And we'll pick up the left leg, put the band on the foot, or not if you're not using one. But first we're gonna lift the heel up to the ceiling, curl the toe down, get the stretch in the calf as well as the hamstring. So we're stretching the whole back line of the leg. And of course, if hamstrings are tight, the knee would be slightly bent, and you just try to get the leg to drop straight into the hip socket. Reaching up at whatever level you want, take a soft point through the foot. Inhale, the leg crosses over, exhale all the way around. Keep exhaling, 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 exhaling till you lift to the top. Start with your inhale, that left hip heavy as the leg circles right. The right side grounded, like you're glued to the floor, like you're bolted to the ground as the leg reaches out to the left. So we're focusing on keeping the body strong and heavy on the ground without tipping the torso in response to the movement of your leg, because the leg has a lot of weight to it, a lot of length, increases the load away from center. And we just want to be sure that while we're working the leg and lengthening it, we're also stabilizing by pulling back and down into the torso onto the ground. Let's do one more in this direction. The elbows stay at your side, so pivot from your elbow points, lift the leg up, and now let's reverse. Inhale away from center, reach out, reach long, and then exhale, push it forward, really press into the strap, almost like the foot wants to escape the curve of the strap. The more you reach into it, the more support it gives you, but it also gives you that chance to lengthen and release the muscles in your leg and create more space in the joints. We'll do one less circle here. Externally rotate to take it sideways. Internally rotate to bring it across the body. Lift it. Hamstring stretch now. Now both ends of the band in your left hand. Open the leg. Right hand on right hip bone or upper thigh. Try to push that down to get a nice stretch in the upper inner thigh of your left leg. You can even rock the leg a little bit. Just give it a slight little pulse towards your shoulder and away. Really work to keep the opposite side of your body grounded. And now we exhale to pick the leg up to the ceiling. Reach it high, stretch again, the back line. Fold the knee into your chest, the band to the side. We can pull that leg in tight and push the other leg away. Let's get the sensation. Notice what we did. Slide your left leg forward. Both legs are open. You can feel that both sides of the body are relaxed and deeper into the ground. And let's pull the left leg in again. Hold onto the back of the thigh. Lift the right leg up to the ceiling, and we rock forward and up for rolling like a ball. Come sit near the front third of your mat. Beginners, hands to the back of the thighs. Intermediate or more advanced, hands to your shins. Pull the elbows wide and lift them up to move your scapula sideways away from your spine. Inflate your body with your breath as you inhale, and exhale, pull the belly deeper. Now we roll. Inhale, you lift the tail to roll back onto your blades, not your head. And exhale, coming up to your balance point. Try to find that, the feet suspended off the ground. And inhale, we roll back. Keep looking at your navel so your head keeps you in that position like you are a ball yourself. Rolling on the inhale, exhale as soon as the blades touch the ground. So your exhale will carry you back a little bit, but then forward and through the lift of your body. Now we're checking to be sure that your body rolls in a straight line back and a straight line forward, because that would indicate that you're working the right and left sides of your body equally. And if you keep your mind on that goal, the body will organize it for you. One last one. Inhale to take it back, and then exhale through the lift. And then we'll scoot back a little bit, taking your right hand to your right ankle, your left hand to your right knee. Extend the left leg up and out as you roll back right into your upper ab curl for the beginning of the ab series. Elbows wide, head pulls up. Try to imagine your head higher than your shin. Inhale, we switch the legs. Shoot the one leg long and the other one pulls in tight. And then we switch again here. So the height of your extended leg is really dependent on what feels good in your back. So if you're a beginner at this, you might take your leg up high, and that would be fine. And then as you work through it, the legs go lower, as long as it works for your core. Try to really watch that your leg goes straight out of the hip socket. We don't want to see the legs drift sideways. We want to really, this will help your knee alignment and also help your alignment for standing later in the day. So pull the legs together, hands, one hand to each shin, pull yourself up, engage the arms. Now inhale, shoot the arms and legs up to the ceiling. This is double leg stretch. You circle the arms wide, you embrace the legs as they pull in, squeeze them tight. Now reach again. You're trying to hold yourself in that spinal position, the upper ab curl, the tailbone heavy on the ground, and then reach, extend. As you advance, the arms and legs move further away from each other, scoop it in. When you first start, everyone's pretty much just arms and legs vertical. So again, you have to look for your working level. We do this once more. Reach it out, whatever line you want, pull it back in, into scissors, right leg up, left leg forward, chin to your chest, eyes down. Inhale, switch. Do not look up at your feet. It's so tempting here. But if you do that, you're going to really feel it in the neck. You probably are feeling it now a little bit, that it's supporting you. Try to really hold on to the arms and recommit to that higher upper ab curl before you release the leg. Like shoot forward. If your hamstrings are tight again, it's fine to bend the knee as it lifts. And with the left leg up, bring the right leg up too. Support your head with your hands, the elbows pull forward and point down. Look down your midline and we stretch the legs away. Squeeze them in towards each other like you're trying to eliminate all space between them. It's typically not possible, but imagine you can squeeze them so close you couldn't see any light through them. Pushing it away, reaching out. And again, be respectful of your body here. You only take the legs to the level that works for you. If you feel your back arch, if you feel your back get a little nervous about this, you're going to know you do want to feel the belly start to maybe quiver a little bit. And then you drag the legs up with the psoas muscles deep underneath the abdominal wall. Let's do one more here. Sweep it out. Toes are soft but pointed. Exhale and lift from your core. Bend the right knee in, come up and twist towards that inner thigh, coming up and rotate and spiral off the ground. You should be opposite leg out long, and you try to keep your hips level on the ground as you rock through the upper body here, lifting and twisting, pulling up to feel the oblique abdominals work. That pulls you to your inner knee and ending to the left. Coming back to center, lay it down. It's good to be down. Take the feet to the ground, open the arms, and we'll just let the knees fall to the right, turn your head to the left. Giving a little release for the neck. And then knees left, gaze right, opening the chest here because we all need that after being on Zoom for so many hours. And one more set. Feel that diagonal lengthening across your hip to your opposite armpit. And back to center. Inhale into the stretch. And exhale, returning. Good. Let's stretch the legs long. Bring the arms back. Let's do a roll up to transition into spine stretch. Coming up, exhale. Open the legs and extend the arms forward, parallel to the ground. We push the arms down lightly into the air as we float the head and the chest high. On your exhale, look down, your nose tips down, and you feel the stretch in the back of your neck. You bring the head forward, moving the neck through the 7 vertebrae, coming forward and down, diving out, over and down in an arc like a wave, coming out of the ocean and onto the beach. Go down as far as you want to, as you can, bend the knees if you need that to release the hamstrings, and then press down through your heels, through your sits bones, and we rise, stacking the body from the bottom to the top. When the arms are parallel to the ground, lift your chest through and look straight ahead at the horizon. And we look down again. Head tips, you're exhaling all the way out, over and down. Try to really move your body fluidly from one end of the spine to the other. So going down, we start with the head, moving down the back. Even curl the tail under you at the end to suck your belly into the curve of your spine. Push through your legs, sink your tail into the ground, and we rise coming up. Working the low back, mid back, upper back. Finally, the neck and the head floats free. And last one. Going over, use that deep exhalation. Take your time so you really pull the abdominal wall in tight, wrapping it around your middle, wrapping around your low body. Coming over, out, and down. Suck the waistline back. And then hold on to your feet, your ankle, whatever you can reach. Pull yourself forward as you pull the shoulders down. And now we're going into open leg balance and rocker. So we slide the hips forward a little bit. You can hold on to the back of your thighs as you curl the tail up and pick up your heels. Elbows are wide, back is rounded, C curved spine. The right leg goes up. You stretch it up, sort of even with the foot to your shoulder. Bring the heels down and connect them together. The left leg rises, stretch it to your full capacity, and then bring it on back. Now both legs simultaneously, they lift, they go up, and exhale, pull it back. Forgot to tell you, you could take your hands here to the inside of the ankles. Both legs lift, and then maybe the hands roll a little bit to the outside of the leg, and then slide the hands around the leg as you frog back down. And then we're lifting the legs up, getting ready to roll. Balance on your sacrum, curve your low back a little bit more by lifting the tail. Look down into your center and inhale, we roll. Going back, lifting your hips off the ground, and exhale, coming forward and up. And again, just like the rolling like a ball, you're going to think about rolling in a straight line down the middle of your mat and then coming up. So the movement pattern is up and down the midline of your mat, even though the spine is rounded. Of course, it has to be because we're rolling. Good. And we'll do one last one. Keep your gaze on your belly to keep the head and neck off the ground. And then once we're here, we'll close the legs. You do have the option of taking your feet to the ground for this, But if you want, you can extend it out and let your hands slide down your legs or be free as you hold the legs where they are and roll your spine down for a corkscrew. So we lift the legs here. You also could use the TheraBand around your feet, small circles with the legs. Inhale, we take the legs over to the right, keep the left hip grounded. Exhale, around. The right hip is heavy as the legs move to the left. Complete the circle at the top. That's one breath. Inhale to the left, and then exhale all the way around slow. Draw a circle, maybe the size of a basketball above you in the air. And again, if you're tight in the back of your legs, feel free to bend your knees a little bit, but keep reaching up through them. The eventual goal would be to have the legs straight or straightish on the way there. You know, it takes time to change the body. That's our investment here. And then we're circling short inhale, long exhale, just like the single leg circles we did earlier. So you really are holding the work in your core, even though it looks like what you're doing, which you are, is circling the legs up and reaching for the sky. Equal effort, equal importance for the movement of the legs and the stability in the center of your body. Let's do it again, going from left to right to finish this. You can feel how you're just spinning around with your weight around the sacrum, around the SI joints, complete at the top. Perfect. And then we fold the legs in and we're going to rock forward and up for saw, opening the legs and opening the arms up. Start sitting with the arms extended. Ideally, the hands will be a little in front of your collarbones because if the arms are back, you'll tend to arch your back, and we want a neutral spine with the body in its natural curves. So inhale, get taller. Exhale, rotate to your right. The back of the left hand to the outside of the leg. The right arm reaches long and out behind you. Stretch into this reach. Pull yourself up. Find that rotation and then unwind out of it. And we spiral in the other direction. So as you're diving over, you're putting weight into the opposite glute. Try to pin your sits bones down into the floor underneath you. Coming up, hold the rotation as you lift. And we unwind, center, and then spin in the other direction. That leads you out over and reaching forward towards your foot, but still look back and try to rotate your chest open to the ceiling behind you. Coming upright, unwind from to your vertical position. That's your highest point. Reaching out through the halo. Try to slide it out by your pinky toe. The opposite leg is still standing into the ground. Keep it pressing into the floor. Coming up all the way, center here, and then lower the arms. Close the legs together, and we flip over onto our stomach for Swan. So here, we'll take the hands back by the armpit. The palms are spread wide at the side of your body. Your head floats off the ground. You want to keep the head lifted, number one, so you can breathe. But the other is to be sure that your spine is neutral, your head and neck in line with your upper back. Now, reach the legs long. They can be slightly apart. Pull back through the heel of the hand. Pull the elbows back and in. As you come up, you round your back, you lift, you stretch your abdominal wall. And still looking up with your eyes, go down, resisting gravity. Make your back release you a little bit at a time into the floor. And at the end, turn your gaze down so the head tilts parallel to the ground. Pull back with the elbows, pull in with the elbows, rising here, opening the chest. We're trying to widen the collarbones and narrow the blades behind us. And down we go again. As you come down, the chest will narrow, the back will broaden to come out of extension into neutral spine. And one more, this time we're going up a little higher to do a little release. You reach yourself up, you release the hands, rock forward. This is catch and release. So the legs get lifted from the glutes. When you fall, you catch yourself with your hands, and you always keep looking up. And then sit back in your child's pose, rounding back, curving the spine. And then forward onto your forearms for single leg kick. Push the fists into the ground, pull the elbows back underneath your armpits, and pull the chest up and look high. Kick the right leg in, pump 1, 2, and down. Now the left, pulse 1, 2, and down. Now the right, double beat each time. Feeling the stretch in the front of the leg. You actively press your pelvis into the ground here so your butt doesn't rock and lift up off the floor. If it is, it might not be that you're not working hard enough. It might just be that you're really tight in your hip flexors because of the sitting we're doing at our desks. Unless, of course, you have a standing desk or trying to do a little bit of varied movement while you're working, which would be good. One more set. We're going to end with the beat to the left. And then lower both legs, lay down, turn your head to the right. Overlap your hands high on your back, the legs still slightly apart. Let the elbows fall. Take a deep breath in to lengthen from your halo to your tail to your feet. As you exhale, pulse 3 times both legs. 1, 2, 3. Push the feet into the ground. Reach the arms back. They might just start palms up or palms in, lifting your chest into that swan. Go down to turn your head left. The elbows fall as you pulse. 3 beats there. Press the legs down. Now rise. As you open up more, you'll be able to intertwine the thumbs and keep the wrists straight as you reach the hands as far back as you can. You're rising. Go down, turning to the right. Elbows fall and beat again. 1, 2, 3 pulses. Shins into the ground. Arms stretch back. Open the chest here. Strengthen your back. And we're down again, looking left. 3 pulses. Again, each one stretching out the front of the legs. Push the legs into the floor. Once you're balanced there, you rise. We don't lift our legs when we come up into this like they might do in some of the yoga poses like locust. And then down, take your hands under you. Child's pose again. Now stacking up, I'd like to start working on neck pull, which is a harder variation for roll up. So if you're still having trouble with roll up, you will practice that again. In this exercise, neck pull, we're all going to begin with a TheraBand around our feet or a belt, a leash, whatever you have, a yoga strap, because this one starts in a plank leaning back. So instead of going down and curling my tail and rounding my back to go down, what we're doing is we're leaning back from the hip socket. So the back is in a plank initially. You go as far as you can, but you have to be careful not to injure your back. Then you look down, you curve the tail up, and now you round the low back down to go down inch by inch by inch. So it's really helpful to feel this first with the band for support. And then coming up, we're going to lift the head, round the back, pull the elbows wide, dive over, and imagine your head pulling out by the space between your legs. And then articulate up, low back, mid back, upper back, just like spine stretch that we just did a few minutes ago. So you can feel this, right? The difficulty is the transition. From going from that neutral spine, right, where the body is in a plank first, you go back as far as you can, reaching forward into your legs, and then you curl the tail and round the low back down. I have my arm crossed across my chest, so maybe you could see what it looks like in my spine, going down to the ground. And then coming up, we're going to start immediately lifting the head, bending the spine, coming over and then diving over and forward. So if you want, you can just practice it like this with the band. In the full, very advanced intermediate exercise, we start with the hands behind the head. We pull the head up, we lengthen the waist. The elbows are slightly forward and they lift as the shoulders drop. Hinge back. You won't go as far because now there's more load away from center, right? So you go back in your plank. You'll start to get like you'll feel a lot of work in your abs. Your back will feel like it's about to arch, at which point you pull the elbows forward and in, you curl the tail up, you tuck. You might even bring the arms all the way forward then to roll the spine down with perfect control to the ground. And then to come up, we initially learned this exercise. You press your fist into the palm of the other hand. You push them into each other as you lift your head, neck, shoulders. Now exhale before you lift the ribs. Really push the arms into each other to come up. You're trying to round the back and use your abdominals as well as your psoas. As you come forward, take your hands to the back of your head. However, do not press down. Pull the skull long to lengthen the neck as you dive over your legs. And you keep feeling that length in your vertebra, that stretch as you stack your spine bottom to top. So you roll it up, lift the chest, lift the head, and we lean back again. So you lean back. You don't want to arch the back, so don't let go at your rib cage. Keep that engaged so the front of the body is as long as the back of the body. Pull the elbows in, even pull the arms forward as you roll your spine out. You can even take your hands to your legs. Wherever you need to be, you want to go down as slowly as possible with every vertebra going one by one into the ground. And then the next time up, we switch the hand that was the fist into the opposite palm. So it should be a straight line from elbow to elbow. Push in to really connect into your tricep, lat, serratus, external obliques. Push, lift. Try to really keep the heels reaching forward. As soon as you can, take your hands behind your head, lengthen the spine, pull up through the occipital ridge with your thumbs, and then dive over, take that stretch forward like you're taking a bow. And then we come all the way up. We're going to do this one more time. This is really hard. So, don't worry. It takes a long time to get this. So I just want you to be careful and do it slowly so that you can really feel the work. So hands here, elbows up, shoulders down, hinge back. You can even pull the elbows forward. It makes it a little easier. Wider is more difficult. Don't try to look like the pictures in Pilates Style magazine, right? The thing to do is to be safe in your body. Go all the way down once you round the back. Don't skip a single vertebra. You've got to really sequence down to keep your back safe. And the advantage is that's going to work your core like inch by inch really effectively. Now we take the hands here, straight line, elbow to elbow, punch into your hand, push with the fist, push with the hand into each other to come up rounding your back, hands behind your head, dive over, take your bow, stretch the head forward, not down. Right, so you're not putting weight, you're not pushing on the cervical spine, you're elongating the neck by pulling the skull away from your shoulders and then roll it all the way upright. And that is neck pull. So the super advanced roll up, you guys are ready to start practicing some of these more advanced exercises. That's great. All right, good. So from here, because we spent time on that, we are going to be skipping the side kick series, but let's go from here and lay down onto our back for shoulder bridge. So I hope that worked out for everybody. If you have questions, hang at the end and I'll answer and help anyone I can who needs it. So rolling back down, the arms can lengthen at your side. We're going to pull the feet in, maybe just slightly in front of the knees. Adjust your spine so you're in a neutral position, the weight's floating off the ground. Here, begin with the pelvic tuck. So we curve the tail up, the waist pushes down. We push into the feet, into the arms, and we pull the knees forward out over the toes, rising here. At the full intermediate level, we push down through the top of the shoulders and roll slightly to the outside of the arms. You're going to feel the blades move together towards the spine, towards each other, to lift the ribs up, to lift the sternum up, to lift the heart up like it's expanding to fill the space in the room above you. Now we need to come out of it without just dropping down, starting with the glutes. So to start at the upper back, you roll your arms to the inner arm. You let the shoulders curve up a little bit. Feel how that moves the scapula sideways, and then drape the ribs down. So move the ribs and the spine between the shoulder blades, starting at the upper back, moving to the waist, down to the sacrum, finally down to the tail. Let's just do that again. So you want to really feel the sequential movement of your body, starting at the tail, coming off the ground. Press your legs into the floor. Begin with the pelvic tuck. You're moving the pelvic girdle around the femurs, coming up. Push the hips forward. Push the knees forward. Lifting all the way up. Look up and slightly back. So as you push your shoulders together and down behind you, you can lift the rib cage without losing the length in your neck. And then we come down, we roll to the inner arm, slowly pull it down, curve your spine down, sink it slowly, carefully, 1 inch at a time into the mat under you. At the end, you release your tail and your waist floats up. We'll go up one more time and add some kicks. So we begin here, pelvic tuck as before, letting the belly sink back into the hollow of your back like it's falling into a hammock. And then we glide the knees forward and up, try to pull them forward. So you elongate the waistline as you rise, come all the way up and lift the chest. Then let's pull the right knee into your chest, extend the right foot high to the ceiling. Now the goal here is to keep the right side of the hip elevated, even though you don't have a support under your leg there for you. You reach the leg out long and you flex the foot to bring it on up. The lift of the foot helps you elevate the hip. Reach out, flex the foot and let it rise. And one more. Push it away, flex and lift it. Bend the knee, lift the knee to pick up the right pelvic half, lower the foot down. Now, if you need to lift that hip higher, now's the time to do it. Be sure your hip bones are balanced and level to the ground to the best of our ability, right? And now we're pulling the left knee in, extend the left foot up to the ceiling, reach it out and down, flex the foot and kick it up. Push the leg out long, stretch it away from you. The longer the body is, the more the connective tissue holds you together as if you're inside a tube. Push that down, flex and let it rise. Point the foot, bend the knee, lower the foot, roll the heel to the ground. Good, you lift the hips if they've fallen at all. And now we roll to the inner arm, melt the upper back down, keep the waist and the hips off the ground, and then gradually roll it out, lowering one vertebra at a time until you get all the way down to the relaxed tail at the end of it. All right, very nice. So let's come up. Let's pull the right knee in this time. Hold onto the thigh, lift the left leg up to the ceiling, rock forward and up. Okay, spine twist. So the legs are together in parallel, the feet are flexed. Even take your hands down, like make fists and push down into the ground so your spine elongates. The elbows are bent if necessary, depends on your body proportion, but you're trying to find that elongated spine. Let's take the hands here, at least for the first 2 sets, hands on top of your head, and lift your head up to try to lift the hands higher to the ceiling, elbows are slightly forward. We rotate to the right and we twist 1 and pulse 2, 3, lift to center and then to the left. Come around your own axis, opening the chest while keeping the legs and the hips steady. Come back to center and we twist to the right again. 1, 2, 3, back to center and then to the left. Twist, reach, and be sure you're getting this not from the elbows moving, but from the oblique abdominals. Extend the arms out and again, work from your core. So spiral the waist and twist 3 times, back to center, and then again, twisting the torso to move the arms. The arms are just carried here by the movement of the body. So again, working from center, but still finding length through the extremities. Reach out through your fingers like you're streaming water through 2 hoses in opposite directions. We'll come center. This is where you're really elongated, really lifted at the central point. Your body melts a little bit as you twist to slacken the ligaments and get more mobility. Less time to the left here. Back to center, lower the arms. We are doing jackknife today. Remember that if this is a new exercise for you, you can have the ankles crossed, arms at your side, and then the first thing you want to do here is just think you're curling the tail up and then releasing it down. Then you may want to take your hands to your thighs and lift a little bit and pull it down. So that's the beginning movement. Hands back to the side, and you can think, how can I pick myself up slightly and bring it back down? That's important for all your inversions. Now, the full exercise, you might have the roller under your hips. We'll pull the knees in, lift the legs up to the ceiling, bring them forward a little bit. When you first learn it, there is momentum, but eventually try not to do that. We bring the legs up in the air and then lift them up. Gazes up and slightly back as you reach high through your legs. And we come down a little bit at a time. So you find resistance through your arms, pushing the floor down and away from you to pull your body down here and then release the legs out, stretch them forward to what is a working level for you, not me. All of our bodies are different. And then we bring the legs up and over. You could start low and then lift. Sorry, I was getting stuck trying to avoid my equipment. And then come down here. Bring it down slowly, work down. You're going to feel your back stretch as your abs work like crazy. Come forward a little bit. And let's do that one last time. Your gaze stays up. Do not turn your head to look sideways while you're lifting your hips in the air, right? Very bad for the cervical spine for you to turn your head from this position. So just go down, press to the arms, try to resist gravity and don't fall into it. Don't fall out of it. In fact, I just want to show one more thing. So you can do one more or watch. So once you get up, so right, it's often easier to take the legs low and then lift them up. I had to bend my knee to get around the Cadillac. But then on the way down, initially most people don't have any trouble going the first few inches. But if you feel like you're losing control, bend your knees in so that you can roll down and protect your spine. So that is one way to have a little more control by taking less weight away from center and pulling it in closer to you. All right, from here, let's rock up to sitting. Here's normally where we would insert the side kick series, but we are instead moving into our teaser preparation. So from this point, we'll fold the knees in, lift the heels, rock back on your sacrum, elbows go out, and pick up your feet. So from here, let's just look at your belly, curl the tail up, and slide your hands up your thighs towards your sits bones as you roll the low back into the ground and reach the legs away. And then you're pulling your knees in, your hands slide up the back of your legs to rise here. So you think almost that you're in like a banana shape and you're gradually opening it out. So it's like a flower opening in the sunshine. As you go out, the arms and the legs reach forward, the spine rolls back, and then you can pull everything in. Hands to the back legs is very assistive. Another option here would be to take the band around your feet and give you a little bit more support there. So I could start, and remember, typically women, their toes are at eye level. Guys, their feet are a little lower. So I could push out into the band as I started to roll my low back down. And then you can pull the elbows wide as you pull the bent legs in towards your chest as your chest rises. So all those are good. This exercise, eventually you go all the way to the ground, but it's not essential. As long as you really feel that you're imprinting your spine 1 inch at a time, you would go down. You would only go as low as you want to. Now, when the tip of the blades touch, your heel should be down. That way you're in your upper curl that protects your neck. And then you can lay it down, but you only do that when your spine is happy doing the smaller movements earlier that we just did. Lift to come up, scoop the belly. Now you pick up the legs as you bring the arms forward, and you can rise up into your T's either with straight legs, or probably initially it's helpful to have your knees bent, right? Because it's less load away from your center for your psoas to support. Just try it one more, whatever variation you're doing. If you're doing the full on teaser, the legs are out at eye level. You be sure the first thing that happens is the pelvic tuck to protect your low spine. You keep your toes at your eye level, bring your heels down when your blades touch, come all the way out, and then we lift to come up. Scoop the belly, scoop from underneath your legs. Imagine your hands holding a bar that go forward along the legs to pick them up for you. And then we take it down again, reaching out long here, stretch it away. Good. Now let's come up and we'll prop ourselves up on our elbows for hip circles. Push the arms down, fold the knees in, lift the legs up, and we circle. Let's go ahead and pivot the hips. So you're going to take the legs over, you rise to one hip, go around, pivot to the other hip, bring the legs up to the center, complete. And again, so this is I'm moving you forward a little bit. When we first learn this exercise, that both hips stay level on the ground. But as you start to get stronger, you're going to feel this, that you're rotating your waist, you're rotating your hips, but not doing it without thought. This has to be done with intention and not just random movement because of the weight of your legs. So really think about how you're moving your pelvis to move your legs. Lower the legs to a level that you can support in your back, come back to center, and of course, we reverse after every circle. Knees can be bent if it's too much load for you to have the legs straight. All right, we're going to end now. We're skip swimming for today and come on up to sitting for your seal. So again, sit near the front of your mat. Your hands go between your legs, wrap around your ankles, and then we rock back onto the sacrum. To open and close the feet, you don't want to just clap your feet together. You want to open and close your knees, open and close your thighs to tap 3 times. So after that, you close the legs, you press them in, feel the pressure of your arm to your leg to your arm, and we rock back. Clap 1, 2, 3, and forward. Clap 1, 2, 3, and roll back again. Head never touches the ground, just like in the earlier rolling exercises. Try to look down at your belly and not up at your feet. And tap. Usually the first couple are maybe not your prettiest ones. That's okay. Each of these rolling exercises, there's a different balance of your weight, and it takes a few times to get that organized. Let's just do one more. And then let's lower the feet down. And my darlings, you're done for today. Like I said before, if you have any questions, if you want to